Hello and welcome to another installment of Let's Play Civilization 4 Realism Invictus. This is the Asharid Het, and in the interim since the last video, I identified a mistake that I made, and I'm glad I caught it sooner rather than later, even though having gone as far as we have in the midst of it does entail an opportunity cost. It should be early enough not to have affected things too greatly, but ironically, I even mentioned the Pastoral Nomadism civic in a previous video to illustrate a point, and it would have been to my advantage to switch to that at the time. Since we have nothing to farm, this -2 food yield is basically no penalty for quite a while, until we get to water pump and can build farms without irrigation. We have nothing to farm, but we do have a camp on this ivory and this horse and soon to be this cattle resource, so switching to that civic would give us an additional 2 food to all of those improvements, which would have helped greatly. So once we're finished researching mining and unlock slavery, I will switch to both of those, and I will keep paganism because we need the temple. And having built the statue of Odin, we have a free pagan temple in all of our cities until we research theology, but definitely going to switch to both of these civics, and I wish I had thought of that earlier. Government civic-wise, tribal union, you do have a happiness malice just for having the civic. I could switch to confederation to get rid of that. The problem is, well, it's a no upkeep civic. Yeah, see, it says +0 free units, and I tested this one time. I thought it gets rid of your free support, and it should do that, but when I tested it, it didn't seem to. If we didn't have our free support for 14 here, the per turn maintenance is 1 per unit above your free support, so right now, that would be an additional 8 per turn, which would be more than the city maintenance that we would save for switching. So I'm actually, in the absence of full confidence to the answer of that question, I'm going to keep it on Tribal Union. Might also switch to Traditional Custom. That'll give us an additional food. Would have circumvented the problem we had in the last video where we starved back down to 1. In Uppsala here, even though we're building a granary, and that alone would be enough. Yeah, so in 4 turns, once mining is finished, I'll switch to traditional custom, slavery, and pastoral nomadism. So I wish I had identified that mistake earlier, but better late than never on that. And another thing I noticed, yeah, that Jewish missionary, I had made a comment about it trying to spread to Uppsala here. He's probably sent it to his capital instead. We don't have open borders, and missionaries do require that, so watching my previous video, I recognized that I said the missionary was on its way to our city, but we don't have open borders, so that's not possible. Anyway, the plan is still get mining, switch to the aforesaid civics, and because settlers are produced by additional food yield per turn, I will probably build it next in Uppsala here because our well, no, I'll probably build the settler in my capital, actually. But in any case, I won't start it until we've switched to all of those civics. And then once this boat is finished, I'll just camp it here until we get the border pop and the city we settle up here to get these resources. All right. I hope I don't make any careless mistakes because I'm pretty hungry right now, actually, so that's probably going to affect my mental alacrity. Okay, so we finally got our border pop here, so now we have the marble and cattle ready to improve. Alright, yes, mining. That enters us into the classical era, which I did remark on, but had forgotten about until just now.
Der Mann, der den Berg abtrug, war derselbe, der anfing, kleine Steine wegzutragen.
Okay, let's see the big picture. Slavery, so a quick word on slavery. I tangentially mentioned this previously, but under this civic, you basically unlock a slave market, which gives you a bonus to your mines and farms, and it also generates revolts, which is sort of a penalty, but it's also a source of EXP. So, and also, while we're not going to build any yet, the slave farm is an improvement once you, provided that you have irrigation or don't require it, has a higher food yield than the regular farm. But I'm primarily interested in it for the EXP to be had from killing revolts. Pastoral Nomadism, I already explained that a second ago. Good thing, actually, you know what? Maybe it wasn't so bad that we waited to switch to this, because that 50% production cost for wonders, we may not have gotten Stonehenge or the Statue of Odin had we switched to this earlier. And then traditional custom, so we're going to have a 3-turn revolution. That is actually rather long, but all of these new civics entail a pretty nice bonus, so it's worth doing. Okay, so during revolution, your city's productivity is basically nothing, and they don't grow either. So your empire is kind of in a standstill, except for your ability to move units. Hopefully I don't forget what I had selected research-wise a third time. I'll consider that again once anarchy is over and we have the correct per turn research showing. And yeah, so we've got this chariot ready to kill slaves that revolt. We'll need more than one, actually, but for the time being, that's some kind of, military preparedness against it. Okay. Now, the Maya, the AI in this game will literally attack you on no pretext. So he does have a battering ram here and a chariot. He might be going for this city. He's pleased. It says he's very unlikely to declare wars. And when I read that earlier, I said we'll see, because the AI really is bloodthirsty. We will, in fact, have to see about that. Yep, he might be ready to attack me. Coming up to my border. Okay, so he gave me money. He shouldn't be able to... Yeah, no, that's... It didn't generate a guaranteed peace. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he declares war on me in the next turn. But just so you know, it literally did say... very unlikely to declare wars. It says so here, and we are 90% of his strength, so really he shouldn't, but I kind of have a feeling he's going to when I end my turn. Nope, okay. Conditioned by too much play of this game not to be healthily cautious of that. Okay, so our anarchy's over, government's reestablished, now we're running slavery, pastoral nomadism, and traditional custom. So now... Oh, really? Okay, so it didn't actually provide food for the ivory here. It says camp. This is a Mahout camp, which is, I guess, categorically separate. Whatever. It still applies to the horses and cattle, so... And I'm not planning on building any more wonders for a little while. Okay, true to my word, let's go ahead and consider what the best next thing to research is. We do have horses. Horseback riding is not a terrible choice. The bona fide horseman here is better than the chariot, and it's even faster, 3 movement. So horseback riding is a strong choice. So is weaponsmithing. We do need to build more units. Yeah, horseback riding. You just never want to be militarily unprepared. Yeah, and we just hooked up these horses. This one chariot should be fine for a slave revolt or two, but then let's get a stack of like 4 to 6 actual horseback cavalry. Okay. Yeah, and the slave market also gives a productivity bonus to the mine, which the mining tech itself did. So this is another example of how improvements appreciate over time as your technology and infrastructure improve. I am going to go ahead and build one. Another thing they changed in the base game, you could build a workboat to basically explore the coast. Now they are confined to your cultural borders, so we'll have to wait here until we get the border pop. Matter of fact, I didn't think of that. We'd have to have continuous cultural borders along the coast for that to even work. So we'll have to keep this for this fish, unfortunately. Yeah, so if you want to do naval exploration, you have to actually research sailing and build a galley as the earliest opportunity to do so. Yeah, see, I was going to build the settler here, expecting the greater food yield on this ivory to contribute to more production, but unfortunately that's not an option. And this being close to his capital, he may go for this spot. I'll still probably build the settler after the market here. Okay, Taoism. Nobody has Taoism as their state religion, so I'm definitely not going to accept that. I don't know how that happened. We don't have any... We do have a foreign trader out. That has to be a glitch. How are we... Something's not right about that. We have a trade connection to the Celts. Well, no, okay. Yeah, the cart path connects to the coast. And the coast, because of sailing, is a viable route. Okay. That would be my hunger affecting my clear thinking, I think. Okay, just chopped here, so the slave market will be done in one turn. 1, 2. 2 forests are 1 health, so 1, 2. That's actually a savanna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yep, we can get rid of another forest. And I'll probably keep these tundra ones. However, that is a tundra hill anyway. Okay. Attack on 88%. For some reason, I tend to lose 88% odd battles. We'll see if this is another one of those instances. Oh, that dude just leaped over the mountain. And then he got killed for it. There we go. Okay, victory. Okay, so yep, we'll see another hammer yield come from this mine. Still 25 turns, but we have to expand because this city ain't growing anytime soon. 32 turns to chop the forest. Wow. That won't even accelerate the production because the settler will be done before then. I'll actually send him here to build a path. Maya building roads up to here. Yeah, there's no barb pressure. Well, there's so much fog lift that no barbs will spawn here. I'm actually going to send this militia to my capital now. Okay, they may die. I didn't let them heal. Yep, okay. Barbarian primitives, and those primitives had a... See, that's so ridiculous. They had an 8.5% chance to win that, and they did. I told you, I always win, or I always lose. Of course, I guess that's 91.5%, but something concerningly unlikely about that ratio inductively in my experience. Alright, Slave Revolt. And as I mentioned earlier, they are programmed to just attack the nearest city. So they should move up here to this ivory, or actually they'll probably take the hill because it's more defensible. In the next turn, I'll actually build a regular road. And then we should be able to attack them with the chariot from there. Oh, they moved away. That's very odd. Here I am trying to confidently tell you how they're programmed and end up being wrong. Slave market for you. You know what? No. There's no mine or slave farm here, so... I'm going to build my first spy. And then once they get to 2, we'll start on a worker. Very odd. Yeah, they don't have better odds of taking this city, so I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I'll still go back and garrison over here. Okay, good. Now we have a road connection to the Maya, which we do need open borders for trade connections, but in the event that we have it, that exists. We'll do philosophy after horseback riding. Yeah, water pump is going to be a high priority tech, so I'll grab math in fairly short order, which requires philosophy, because once we can build farms without irrigation, that's going to be a fairly high priority task so that we can actually develop properly. Okay, yep, my pan settler. Now he is not creative, so even if he builds a city here, which he's probably going to do, he's not going to be able to take the marble and cattle so easily.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Yeah, so another quick word on an interesting change they did. They, instead of being able to settle your great generals in your cities for obscene amounts of free experience, there are now military doctrines and traditions. The doctrines are like world wonders. Whoever gets it first gets it, and then no one else can, which provides a unique range of promotions to the relevant unit categories. And traditions are, they function basically in the same way, but they are generally a bit weaker, not as profound in their effect, and everyone can have them. So this is a tradition, but various technologies unlock both doctrines and traditions, which you can found with great generals once you earn them through experience in combat. Which, because of our schemer malice trait, is slower, but as I said earlier, I don't think that's going to end up mattering too much. Okay, now we're at level 2, so yeah, let's do that. And then we'll need to improve that cow next with our worker. Saint Birgitta, great prophet. Okay. Now with the Great Prophet, I think the specialist joining the city with the Great Prophet is rather strong, especially if you don't currently have a state religion. I can start a Golden Age, which I'd rather save for later. I can bulb the tech dualism, which since Zoroastrianism has already been founded is not very important. So, however, if I settle him in the city, I get a free hammer and a free 5 gold per turn. That's a straight gold per turn, so that is rather powerful. I'm going to go ahead and immediately settle him. So now at 100%, we're actually making money per turn, which is pretty nice. Great. Barbarian City has these pearls. Okay, spy is done. Now let's get a horseman started. Now, spies obviously are able to enter borders without open borders, but they do have a risk of being caught, which is less if you have open borders with that civ and less if you have the same religion as them as well, but there is still a risk. And then if they're caught, there's a coin flip on whether or not there will be a diplomatic penalty for it. Still, it's obviously in your interest to spy. It shouldn't be a deterrent against the decision, but it is something to keep in mind. Okay. And they did have a settler here, and then they moved away. I wonder where they're gonna go. I'm still confused why they went ahead and settled this far away. I mean, admittedly, this is a pretty nice spot. 2 potatoes, cattle, hemp, fresh water, floodplains. But still, I mean, that was really far away. They've got to be paying a lot of maintenance from the distance penalty on that.
Dies habe ich durch Philosophie gewonnen, dass ich tue, ohne befohlen zu werden, was andere nur aus Furcht vor dem Gesetz tun.
Okay. Mathematics. Yeah, I'm not too interested in the Maya right now, but I am gonna see what lies to the west here with this spy. And then obviously you can't be caught outside of someone's borders. Citrus, interesting. Okay, revealed 2 cities here. Oh yes, and another thing, once you have revealed a city, you will forever know its population. So even if we move away and we can't see what units he has in here, you do always have an accurate current knowledge of the population level, just so you know. And this is the lands of Pope Borgia VI, or Alexander VI Borgia. So when you're exploring, it's in your interest to at least reveal the cities themselves so you can keep an eye on their population. Okay, another slave revolt. I guess I'll have to eat crow if he doesn't just attack Stockholm directly. Yeah. I don't know what the other one was doing, because that is how they're supposed to behave, even if they're not likely to win at all. Okay, alright, we finished our settler now. Wow, pyramids, that's pretty fast, even with our penalty. Yeah, another hammer and a science for every pagan temple, that is tempting. Why not? I'll go for it. If I don't get it, then I will get the money for it anyway. A brilliant smith has developed significant innovation in the design of horseshoes. Cool. Alright, so all of our charge-mounted units, which obviously that includes the horsemen I'm building in Uppsala right now, will have flanking 1. Now, I don't know if that means going forward or the existing ones. Probably going forward, given the, you know, what this is saying here. Cool. Alright, settlers done. Time to head this way. I have a feeling we'll get caught before we get out of Rome here. Okay. Vandal. Alright, Rome itself, another city that's settled on a resource. Weird. I really don't get that. Alright, most powerful. We actually need to... Of course, I am working on it now, but in order not to get attacked, you really do have to have a good state of military preparation, so being 8th here is not really acceptable. Of course, here I am building a bunch of wonders, and that, the opportunity cost of production means you're not building units at the same time. Okay, yeah, this being a barbarian city, once we get a border pop, we should just claim the pearls, which, hey, they fortunately threw nets down for us already, so maybe that's not even bad. All right. So thanks to our great prophet, this is not as crippling in terms of city maintenance as it would have been otherwise. And thanks to the statue of Odin, we automatically have a temple here, which means in 17 turns we'll claim this salt resource. And the way that borders expand, once his capital gets their 3rd pop, it doesn't expand diagonally, which means we should have the salt ourselves. Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake I did with Uppsala. We need a granary right now so that when we grow, we're not automatically unhealthy. Okay, I'm actually going to stop right now. I am really hungry. I don't think I'm going to play as carefully until I've eaten something, so I might get another installment up within 24 hours. I might not. But I did want to go ahead and get that 3rd city built, and I'm glad we got to this spot in time. So until next time, this is the Ashard Het signing off. Thank you for watching, and we will return to this when we return to it.